Namaste, and welcome to this short series of talks called The World of Words, in which I shall discuss how, from a kabbalistic point of view, Hebrew words function as doors of perception. Now, since as I have experienced it personally, the power of Kabbalah, of kabbalistic study, and the power of Hindu temples have strong overlaps, I would like to compare the kabbalistic study of Hebrew words to the entering of a temple. Now, in both cases, the depth of the subsequent experiences, of course, are determined by a person's disposition, their degree of equanimity, and their capability to receive. I still found that in both cases, these experiences can lead to altered states of being, in which new connections are realized and new worlds open up. Now, as such, when visiting a Hindu temple, the relevant living mythology there instantly evokes other temples, other ideas, other deities that are related to the same power, deepening and widening the way we perceive reality. At least this can happen. And from a Kabbalistic point of view, the same can occur. So when studying a specific word or opening oneself up to a specific word, to the power of that word, each letter can refer to other letters, to other concepts, to other words. And this entire framework offers experiences that can be mind-altering. Now, in this first talk, I would like to address the Hebrew word for the truth, emet, because it's a concept that all spirituality really evolves around. Now, the Hebrew word for truth is emet. Emet being spelled with the letters aleph, mem, and tav. Now, the first thing that's important to realize is that these three letters are respectively the first, the 13th, and the last letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Now, even though the letter mem is the 13th of the 22 letters that there are in the Hebrew alphabet, in Kabbalistic texts it's referred to as the middle, for reasons that are a bit too intricate to go into right now, often related to the name of names, the tetragrammaton, the four-lettered name. The first letter of the Hebrew word for truth, emet, is the aleph with the numerical value 1, and it signifies the beginning, God in its entirety, and as such creation, and also Brahma, the Hindu deity Brahma, the creator god Brahma. Now, the second letter of the word for truth is the mem. This denotes time, creation in full swing, and as such is linked to the Hindu deity Vishnu. Now, the third letter tav, the last letter of the word for truth, emet, is the last of the Hebrew alphabet, and as such also signifies the end, aligning with the concept of Shiva, of course. Now, the numerical values of these three letters have as their core, as their small numbers, as it's called in Kabbalah, the 1, the 4, and the 4. Now, the sequence indicates the complete unfolding of the name of names, which is called the four-lettered name as well, which is Kabbalistically the root of everything in existence. Now, one of my earlier talks, I delved really into this ratio 1 to 4, that is hidden in the sequence 144 of truth. And I showed how this implies the unfolding of the Godhead, existence flowing forth from the source. Now, as I mentioned there as well, there's a ratio connected to this, the 1-4, that is shown in different biblical sources, different biblical verses, to be hugely important. Now, one example is the Garden of Eden as an example of the one from which 4 rivers flow forth. In the Hindu setting, what one could think about Mount Kailash in Tibet, the home of Shiva, from which also 4 main rivers flow forth. Now, this totality of existence that is thus implied by the 3-lettered word for truth, emet, has an overlap with the Sanskrit word om, a concept that also contains a trinity in one. The Hebrew word emet, meaning truth, in this way is seen to envelop all of existence. Now, from this we learn that the truth is not considered to be my truth or your truth. It's not considered to be an opinion, since that would imply the exclusion of other opinions, and it wouldn't signify a totality as such. Thus, it signifies a state of consciousness in which opinions are transcended. Now, the seekers of truth from various mystical streams over the ages have pointed out that this state in which opinions are transcended is realized when the I does no longer interfere. So when the I drops away, and what is left when the I drops away is opinionless truth, if one can say it like that. Now, the Hebrew word emet points at this same secret too. The word can namely also be read as amut. Now, the U sound, instead of the emet, the amut, the U sound can be affected just by reading signs, in which no additional letters are needed and the numerical values don't change. It can also be affected by adding a letter or changing a letter, and then adding the letter vav to make the U sound of amut. Now, in old kabbalistic texts, this letter vav, the U sound, is called the father when active among the children. The father being the Godhead, the source, and the children being the 10 Sefirot, the 10 emanations of the Godhead. Now, as such, amut, meaning in modern Hebrew meaning, I will die, carries the meaning of the truth as it can be lived by us. So thus we have emet, the truth, as an abstract concept, as the foundation of the world, on the one hand, something which is, of course, independent, unchangeable, and in medieval times usually called the unmoved mover. And on the other hand, then we have amut as the state, indicating our individual lives when they align with that which is, with the ultimate truth, ultimate reality. Now, the two together indicate a yogic state of perfect equanimity. And in other words, when the mystic allows for death as the seed of life to flow freely and unobstructed in their lives, they can come face to face with the living truth. So death here is seen as something positive. It's not physical death, it's mystical death, usually. And now the fact that this state is one of supreme yoga or complete equanimity is exemplified by the place of the word for emet in the scheme of the tree of life. And also the letter vav that is added, the letter vav is also that same place, the numerical value 6. So this place that I'm talking about is the 6th Sephira Tiferet. Now Tiferet, beauty, is considered the epitome of spiritual balance, and traditionally also the place where the 4-lettered name of names is placed, resides. Now, the total numerical value of the word for the truth, ha-emet, kabbalistically indicating the truth in our world, in our existence, which is feminine. The letter he here, the added letter he, is a feminine concept. So the living truth in our existence matches the numerical value of the word for death. So ha-emet, the truth, living truth, and mavet, death, have the same numerical value, which kabbalistically means they have the same energy, they come from the same source, and they express the same truth. Now, another word that has the same numerical value 446, is the Hebrew word tzeror, meaning the bundle, or usually in kabbalistic texts used as the bundle of life. Now, this then emphasizes the aspect of the positivity of these concepts. Death is not understood as the negation of life, or not only as the negation of life, but it's seen as life's beating heart, its reviving quality. Mystical death, therefore, is seen as a state of mind in which the truth is fully realized, comparable to both nirvana and heaven, but experienced before physical death. So these were the short notes I would like to share or wanted to share about the truth, kabbalistically. I hope that was interesting, and if you have any suggestions on what word I should talk about next, feel free to let me know. Namaste.